Hi everyone, my name is Alfred Paha. I work with Fidelity Bank Ghana Limited. I'm in charge of strategy and business development for the inclusive banking department. I've worked with the bank for the past 12 years, and in the last 7 years, I've worked with the inclusive banking space in different capacities. Now, Fidelity Bank is a tier 1 bank in Ghana. We are the 4th biggest in terms of market share, and we work with 24 banks within the Ghanaian economy. Fidelity Bank, I'm happy to say, is the bank that laid the foundation for inclusive financing in Ghana. Now, Fidelity Bank serves over 1 million customers, and we are aiming to move the number to 5 million by the close of 2021. And agency banking is a key strategy for the bank in serving our customers. I'm here to tell you about how Software Group as a company has helped us in reaching our goal so far. Like many developing countries, access to financial services was very challenging to the majority of the population, and the case in Ghana was no different. By 2012, there were about 25 universal banks in the country, serving just over 20% of the bankable population. 80% of these people had no access to financial services or just a limited access. As a bank, we saw a gap and decided to find a way to bridge this gap. So our journey towards financial inclusion began in 2012 for Fidelity Bank Ghana Limited. Let me try and take you back to 2012 and explain or paint a picture of how the situation used to be. So as a bank, this is what we observed, that in order for us to achieve our aim of being the biggest bank in the country, we had to be able to go to all the communities within Ghana. Now that meant, because of the model that we ran then, we were supposed to put up branches wherever we wanted to set up shop. This meant we were going to increase our cost to serve customers. Number two, customers, in order also to get into the banking system, had to open accounts. And the KYC requirement back then was a lot for customers to sort of meet these requirements. So we approached the Bank of Ghana, which is a central bank in Ghana, and we positioned our claim to them that in order for us to achieve our inclusive banking sort of strategy, they needed to give us a leeway in order to introduce something new into the market, and hence the birth of agency banking for Fidelity Bank in Ghana. Now, agency banking, as we set out to be, was supposed to be the main channel to be able to bring down the bank, the non-bank into the banking sector. What it meant was we were going to go directly to existing companies, existing businesses, whether small or large, where we could partner them, which meant they could be able to transact for our customers on our behalf without us necessarily having to set up shop in these communities. Secondly, the Bank of Ghana also gave us the opportunity to open accounts for customers. Now, these accounts required only one ID card, and within 5 minutes, we could open an account and a customer is brought directly into the banking system. With that, agency banking and smart accounts were born for Fidelity Bank, and we're excited about our prospects going forward. Within the first 2 years of our operations within the inclusive banking space, we were able to bring together about 150,000 customers in the first year. We also had about 300 agents across the country. Then we hit a snag. The platform that we deployed wasn't working right for us. Customers were facing a lot of challenges, and looking at the telecom industry where we didn't have network across the country, it was difficult to go into some of these sectors because we didn't have the infrastructure to be able to set up shop or have people perform transactions on the POSs that we were using when we started our agency banking journey. This led us to a crossroad. We were supposed to make a decision as a bank. Are we going to go forward with this strategy with all the problems we're having, or are we going to stop, measure it, and find a new way to achieve the same goal? Hence, Software Group. So my colleague Victor Brown would later on tell us about the key considerations for choosing Software Group when it comes to the IT infrastructure. I will focus on the business aspect and what we needed to achieve. Now, based on our initial implementation of our inclusive banking strategy, which comprised the quick to open accounts and the agency banking, we had a few lessons, and those were our points going into a new sort of platform. Number one, we needed to achieve real-time transactions. What this meant was that once a customer goes to our agent point, whatever they did had to be real-time, so that they at least get an SMS for the transactions they have performed. Whether it's deposit or whether it's withdrawal, whatever they did, they needed an SMS to confirm transactions. Number two, we couldn't also continue with the strategy of having to buy POSs for our agent. So we needed something which was mobile-based. It's either a mobile app or USSD, where we could then leverage on the existing sort of infrastructure the companies had, which is just a mere mobile phone to be able to perform these transactions. The third one also has to be our limitations that had to do with the network coverage within the country. It means not every corner of the country had internet access. Hence, using a POS or internet-based approach was not going to work. So these are the things we're trying to capture once we're going to a new platform. And Software Group came in handy with a lot of these things in touch. So when we come to our new sort of platform that we have deployed within Ghana currently, when you go to our agent points, where currently we have over 5,000 agents, agents are able to transact for customers on a real-time basis. They do transactions such as customer acquisition, they do deposit withdrawals, liquidity management for the agents, they can check mini statements, and we are upgrading to be able to do airtime top-up. We're also doing some bill payments on the platform. We're also integrating with other companies who want to sort of leverage our network to be able to serve their customers. The great thing Software Group did for us that has changed the face of our agent bank network is the fact that every single customer of this bank, of Fidelity Bank, can actually transact at our agent point. This has changed the face of our agency banking. And this is a short video for you to understand the scope with which we are running our agency banking now.
What?
I didn't hear.
Boss, I didn't hear.
Hey, you.
Yes, boss, you know the here. The time they tell you say a day here, then you day there. Now you see say day here. Fidelity Bank has over 1,500 agent points. All these agent points work beyond banking hours.
Really?
Yeah,
So I can go now?
right now.
Thank you very much.
Fidelity Bank is in every neighborhood in Ghana.
Brother, I would have said that. Me catch out the mina a day here.
Apart from the 75 branches nationwide, Fidelity Bank also has over 1,500 agent points where you can make withdrawals, open an account, deposit, transfer, check your balance, and more.
Visit a Fidelity Bank agent now for your transaction. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and it tells a lot of things that we have described so far as to how our agency network looks currently. But that's even from last year. These are some few figures that would show the growth that we have had over the period. Now, the key KPIs for us when it comes to our agency banking strategy is the agent growth. How many agents, how are we expanding the network? Number two is the number of transactions that agents are performing. We want to move a whole lot, about 50% of our transactions onto our agent network within the bank. The third one has to do with the value of transactions that the agents are able to move, looking at the liquidity that is available to them. And the third has to do with customer onboarding. We have the smart accounts available for agents to onboard when it comes within the agency banking space. So let me take it one after the other so that you see the big jump that Software Group has aided us to get over the period. So let's take the agent count, for instance. We have moved close to 400% from 2017 to now, on year-on-year basis, doubling the number of agents that we have within our network, and that's very impressive. And I can say that this was achieved because of what we have with Software Group. The fact that we can go to every corner of the country, whether there's network or not, we're able to set up these agents, and they're able to just use their mobile phone that they have to be able to transact. This has really jumped up our numbers when it comes to agent count. And also the turnaround for setting up agents has reduced tremendously. We're able to now onboard agents within 10 minutes, and that's really impressive, looking at the speed that we need to go. Now, when we take the agent transaction count also, last year, for instance, we did about 500,000 transactions. As at the close of September this year, we have done more than we did full year last year. And that shows how good it is that we have this network and this system that is able to get customers to do a lot more transactions. Now, customers are getting comfortable and they are moving on to our agent platform. And we are very excited as a bank because we know this is going to be a very viable platform for us and a very good channel for our customers. The third one has to do with the value of transactions that we perform on this network. Last year, in perspective, we did over $200 million, and by end of September this year, we have already crossed 250 million plus, and we are looking to close the year on a high. And this is very impressive, looking at where we are coming from below 50 million as of 2016, prior to the Software Group implementation of the AMS. And when it comes to customer onboarding also, we can see the same numbers. We have doubled our customer onboarding, where we were unable to onboard customers with the previous system. Now agents are able to. So we started in 2017 onboarding customers at the agent point, which takes about 10 minutes also. And from then till now, we have been able to get up to 50,000 customers every year on the average. As I've shown so far, as a business, we are really excited about the journey we have begun with Software Group. We are really excited about the way they are also there to provide with after-sales service, and whenever there's any issues, there's somebody to talk to, and we have dedicated people assisting us on the way. Just as you've seen with our numbers, they have grown, and we expect it to grow even better, and we expect our agency banking platform to be the best in the country and even move beyond the shores of Ghana with this solution that we have. So thank you very much for listening. I'm going to have my colleague, Victor Brown, who is from the technical aspect, tell you a bit more as to why we chose Software Group and how their system stands superior within the agency banking network.
I am Victor Brown from Fidelity Bank Ghana Limited, currently a project manager with the technology department and the immediate past IT and systems manager for agency banking. I want to talk to you about the key considerations we made before the implementation of the agency management system by Software Group. One, we took into consideration how the existing system, which was the mini core banking system, could be replaced with a solution that will allow us to integrate to our core banking system, FlexCube, and provide the relevant access and privileges to users. So what we basically did was that there was the need to first of all migrate the account to FlexCube and then have some web services in place to do the integration to the agent management system. And so the migration was actually done for a class of accounts that we called smart accounts. And then the relevant web services were also scoped, which were integrated on our central ESB, Enterprise Service Bus, called IIB, which then integrated to the agent management system. Now, the capabilities of the agent management solution are quite vast. And so in the scoping requirements for the entire project, we had to deal with so many server requirements. And these requirements were actually server size and requirements that even exceeded those that we provisioned for our core banking system, FlexCube. And so you realize that AMS is quite a robust system, a system that basically has databases that are clustered and applications that are also clustered. And the architecture seeks to ensure that we always have load balancers in place, just to ensure that transactions and the flow are quite, straight through without any hitches or any delays, and that the transaction processes are quite fast and speedy. Okay, so the second consideration we made was the capability for real-time transactions, because we realized that in the legacy system, the mini CBS, we had a lot of transaction timeout, transactions that couldn't just be completed, and we also noticed that even reporting was somehow not real-time. So we sought for these capabilities in the new agency banking model provisioned by Software Group. And this is what we sought to do, just to eliminate the hitches of the past. We decided that we were actually going to have a thorough integration model, an integration model that will allow the new agency banking system to directly communicate with the new ESB, or Enterprise Service Bus of the bank, called IIB. So what we basically did was to put down a solution architecture, a structure that talks to a thorough and provisioned web services and transaction codes and product codes that are defined on our core banking system called FlexCube. And this actually helped a lot, because we realized that the agency banking transactions were uniquely defined. These are transactions that needed to be performed by agents, and reporting needed to be real time. So there was the need to ensure that the transaction flow was really end-to-end and devoid of any hiccups. And so the structures that we put in place, which had to do with the web services and the end-to-end product codes and transaction code, really helped. And this was totally an accomplishment, in that today We have transactions that are real time and reporting also real time. Now, the third point that we really considered had to do with the agent onboarding and management. In the legacy system, we had challenges bringing on board new agents. Agent onboarding could take up to 2 to 3 weeks, and so we sought to eliminate this hitch in the new solution. And this is what we basically did. We ensured that the new vendor software group came with a solution, an agent onboarding solution that had a back-end portal where users could go and do all the agent management stuff. And on the agent management stuff, you could see things like a geographical location, maps, where we are able to actually locate the agents wherever they are. And so even on agent registration, you are able to capture their GPS locations and identify the exact locations where they operate. Another thing that we also sought to do was an entirely a different user administrative model where agents who are onboarded have the capabilities to change their password and change their user credentials on the fly. In the past, we didn't have this, but this was actually provisioned in a new system. Another thing we sought to do was the ability to define the privileges that the agents are allowed to have on the new system. Now, by privileges, agents should be able to do certain transactions based on the hierarchies that we have, because we have several hierarchies of the agency banking model. Some agents are independent, meaning that they own one shop. Some agents are super agents, meaning they own several shops. So we have several hierarchies, and so there was the need to bring in place the privileges and define how the agents operate. And all these models were actually things that the software group company actually provided. One critical component of this also had to do with the commission structure of the agents, because we realized that in the past we couldn't combine the flat fee model with the ratios, okay, or the percentages model. And so there was the need to have a system that combines the flat fee with the rates. And it was only the software banking solution group solution that had this capability. And so in it all, you could see that yes, we have really acquired a good solution and our fortunes have improved as a company. The last bit I would want to talk about is scalability. Now, I remember during our trip to Kenya, to the office of a software group, there was something boggling our minds, which had to do with scalability, because we had really suffered issues with scalability in the past. And so we had to go with the group CIO of the bank to have a site visit for a due diligence. And we actually came out with something, a plan, which had to do with how do we scale up as a bank, and how do we ensure that tomorrow, if we have, let's say, 20,000 and 50,000 agents, our systems are still able to really take care of the numbers. And so what we basically sought was to meet the technical team of software group and then have a dialogue and look at the channels that they have in place and how best we could really scale up. And to be frank, what we currently have here is really servers and infrastructure for an agency banking system that even have resources more than what we have for our core banking system, FlexCube. And so our systems are really scalable if you look at it, because we have clusters of our database, clusters of our application systems. And so we are really in a drive to scale up our numbers as far as the agency banking is concerned. Now to end, I would want to say a big thank you to Software Group, because they have done a tremendous job. We have been through this journey for the past 2 to 4 years, and the journey has been very smooth and cordial so far. I believe that they have enjoyed a lot, especially by way of what we have also provisioned for them in their marketing strategies and drive. And our friendship is blossoming. Software Group is an efficient company. They have a project management team that is well endowed with a skill set to be able to deliver all manner of projects. If you look at where we came from, we were actually in the mud, but they took us out of the mud. And so I always recommend Software Group to whoever wants to have any solution at all, and not just agency banking. They have a bouquet of solutions for you. I recommend them for you. They are really good, and they will meet your needs. Thank you.